Hello folks, it's Eko here. In this episode of 7 Days to Die Design Series, we're going to be talking about rounded towers and how to build the roofs that go on top of them. When I debuted this base, there were a lot of questions in the comments in regards to how to build the towers as well as the roofs on top of them. After that, I released Frosthaven, which has an even more complicated roof structure. So if you're interested in learning how to build both that 5-meter structure that's built into the game, as well as this more customized 7-meter structure that I have atop Frosthaven here, stay tuned and I'll give you a step-by-step walkthrough. So to get started, we're going to start with a 5-meter tower. So you can see here is essentially the foundation of a tower and then the top of it. And the different color-coded bits in here are to show you all the different parts that are in that, so you get an idea of it. So I'm just going to start with showing you how to build the base first and walk you through the different parts that you have. So in a 5-meter section, you have the option of doing quarter or full. The quarter is going to be if you want the tower to be empty and hollow on the inside. And this second section, the ones where it's cube 5-meter round 01, 02, 03, is if you want to have it filled in the center. For this first tower, I'm going to go with the assumption that you're going to go hollow in the center. So we're just going to grab all these and pull these down into our hotbar. Now, again, if you're unfamiliar with the shape menus, when you scroll over these and you have it hovered, you're going to hold down R. It's going to bring up your radio menu, and then you can go into shapes to adjust these however you want. So in order to find these, the easiest way is go to round up here and then just type 5M. That's going to limit it down to what you're looking for. So right about here, you're going to see cube 1/4, 5M round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now how you build with these is not totally intuitive, but I'll walk you through it really quickly. So I've kind of laid out the basis here of what it looks like. So the one position, you know, your cardinal directions, your north, south, east, west, are going to be where you have this basic section that looks like this. That's going to have just a little bit of round to it. So I'm just going to start off by placing those 4 first. And then next, if you rotate to the next one, you'll see it fits here. And then just go in a circle. Rotate it a few times each time. And there you go. And then switch over to this one, which is round 5, and do the other side. Lastly, you have this, which is your exterior filler. We'll go here, 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 and here. And then after that, you have your interior filler, which is the little one, which will be the 4 spots that you see inside that you can optionally fill or not as you deem. Don't buy that one too far. And there you go. So there is how you create the basic foundation. So to build the top of this, we're going to come back in here, and I've also gathered all those pieces for us. We're not going to need those because we're not building that style. We'll get rid of all these up here as well. We'll ditch most of them. We'll keep one. Ooh. Because we're going to take it down here, and to ease our building process, we're going to start at the top and move downward. So we're going to change this back into just a regular cube. We're going to go smack dab in the middle. And we're going to go up by 1. And from there, we're going to start grabbing these. Now, I've brought these in order from top to bottom. So you're going to use this cube 5M round roof, top 1, top 2, and top 3 first. Bring these down over here. And we'll build out this section. And again, where do you find these? Hold down R while you're over this. You're going to come to the radio menu. You're going to click on the sphere over there, go to 5M, and then you're going to look through here and find the associated rooftop. So you're going to start here with cube 5M round roof top 1, 2, and 3. So that's the first portion that we're building here. So on this one, you'll come to the top, and we're just going to place that in the logical position there. And we're gonna do this one and rotate it around. So this is number 2. So we'll skirt all the way around. And there. And lastly, number 3 is gonna fit in that corner piece. Just like that. All right. So now that we have that portion of it placed, we're actually going to keep this square that we had from before, but we're going to put these back up here. We don't need these anymore. But if you continue on that menu in the same spot that we were, the next 3 that you're going to find are cube 5M round roof bottom 01, 02, and 03. And then we're going to have 04, 05, and 06. So the next one on here, this one's going to place, if you rotate it around, you'll see how it fits perfectly there. Then we're going to do the same trick we did before and rotate all the way around. Next, we'll flip over to this one, which will get our corners. This is going to be 03. And you just keep rotating it till it logically fits in that slot. All right. So lastly, we'll flip over and do this middle one that we skipped, which is our piece that's going to go straight down in the 4 cardinal directions. All right, and now we just need to fill in those edge pieces. So we're going to flip over to round roof bottom number 4. We're going to rotate this one and find out where it fits. So if it fits there, we know it's not going to fit there, so we can rotate all the way around here. So we're just going to keep skipping one each time. And then we're going to do the other one that'll fit the other spots. Oops, we're already there. So there. And then once you've done that, we're almost done. And you just fill in this little last triangle in that corner. And there you have your finished rooftop that looks just like that one right there. All right, with that, let's move on to a more complicated scenario. So now that we have a 5-meter tower and a roof, what do we do with a 7-meter tower? Because in this scenario, there aren't any blocks. And this is what led me to the design that I came up with for Frosthaven. So here it is, and you can see all the parts and pieces that I put this one together, and you can see actual Frosthaven there in the background. So similarly to before, I'm going to lay us out here, and I'm going to walk you through first how to make the foundation. And much like the 5-meter tower, you have 2 different configurations. You can fill the whole thing in using cube 7M round 01, 02, 03, 04, and 05. Or you can do the more complicated one, which leaves it hollow in the center. And we're going to go with this one because it's the trickier one to figure it out. So in this one, you're going to look for cube 1/4 7M round 01, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last thing that you're going to need is cube 1/4 7M round filler. All right. So let's just take this one here and start dragging these pieces down to build our foundation. All right. Much like before, the easiest thing to do is starting in your 4 cardinal directions. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to take us to this one 03, and that's going to be the one that goes in those corners. So we'll start here, rotate, rotate, and rotate. And the easiest thing is typically to move to the next one and figure out where it lines up. All right, so that one's going to go there, and then we can take it to the next side, go there, take it to the next side, take it to the next side, and then just go to the next one from there. and figure out which side it fits on. Nope. There we go. Keep one around the outside, just giving it a few rotates. And then we're gonna skip over the filler. We'll do that one last, and we'll rotate back to the beginning. And figure out where this one fits. I just typically pivot around until I figure it out. There we go. It's gonna go right there. And see, that's where your filler is gonna go in. And then lastly, we'll fill in this last slot here. We know that that's going to fit there. And now the only thing you're missing is this filler, which will slide right into those slots around the circle. So now that we have our foundation, we just need to get started building this critter here. So I'm going to move these. Actually, we don't need any of them, so we can just toss them all. Woo! All right. So in order to build this, I'm going to walk through these slowly so you can scribble them down. You're going to need wedge narrow low, wedge narrow tip, cube 5M dome top 3, wedge narrow high corner, wedge 60, wedge narrow middle corner, wedge 60 tip corner top, and wedge narrow tip corner. So those are all the parts and pieces you're going to need to build this. And then I recommend having one just plain old cube, which I'll show you. We'll use it to kind of place things at one point in time in the build. So the first thing you're going to do, when I put these in order from left to right and how we're going to use them. So the first thing you're going to do is pull out your wedge narrow low. We're going to start smack dab in the center. We're going to go 5 across here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to replicate that on each side. Let's just go in the order that it's rotating. That'll make life a little easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rotate 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and rotate 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now that we've got that set out, we're going to move on to the wedge narrow tip, and we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. And actually, we should do the same rotation game that we did before. So it's going to be this side. It's going to get a little bit tight over here because I packed this a little too closely. 1, 2, 3. Rotate once. Again, hit the center point. 1, 2, 3. Rotate once. Center point. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now you're going to see all these little corner areas that are open. This is where I decided to play with using this cube 5M dome top 03 and just using this as a filler. So you'll just rotate this so it matches appropriately. So again, it looks like we're going to continue to circle to the left here. We'll make this fill in nice and easy. Rotate again, fill, fill, fill. Rotate again, and fill, fill. Oh, not there. And this is why we're using frame shapes, because we can pick it right back up. So you can see that's essentially the configuration of the bottom. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hop up in here and we're going to place, let's see, actually, no, we can place it right on that corner. So we're going to start off with this wedge narrow high corner piece. We're going to put it here and make sure that it's rotated so that you can see a little bit of a space on both sides towards the outside, and then we're going to rotate it one side each as we go around. And that's going to give us some dimension on the rooftop. And then from here, we're going to start putting our wedge pieces that go up. So we're going to take this, except for we want to do advanced rotation on this. And we want that flat side facing up, just like that. We're going to repeat that the whole way around. All right, so you can see we're coming along quite well. So from here, we're going to actually pivot back to some of the pieces that we used earlier. So we're going to rotate back from that last one that we used was the wedge 60. We're going to come back to the wedge narrow low. So what we're doing is mixing and matching different angles here. And what that's going to do is give some interesting character to the incline here. So it's not just a straight linear shift. So again, we're going to put on advanced rotation. And then we're going to stack that right on top of here. And then we're going to go around and repeat it the whole way around. And then we're going to continue that up one more. We're going to go to the wedge narrow tip and advanced rotation on this one again. And this time we're going to make life a little bit easier. I should have done this on the last one. So nice trick here. You can come in here, hold down R, point it at that one, and just copy the rotation. And then we don't have to figure it out. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Jump up here, and we're going to do the same trick. We're going to copy rotation. 1, 2, 3. Jump up here, target that one. We're going to copy rotation. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to come to this one. We're going to copy rotation. 1, 2, 3. All right. So for the next part of the build, so you can see we're up to that portion now. We're going to need to add some extra blocks on top here to work with. So can I get up there? Oh, I can't quite. So we're going to add a little bit of scaffolding here to help us out. So we'll put here, jump up here. And then in these corners, we're going to add 4 blocks right here, here, and here to build on top of. So from here, we're going to go back to the wedge narrow high corner block that we already used. And we're going to put it in the same configuration as before. Just make sure that it's angled right. So let's see. That should go there. Then it rotates once, then it rotates once, then it rotates once, and should go there. And we'll just double check it so that it has the angles right, and that is correct. All right. And again, we're going to have to add a little bit of scaffolding here to help us jump around. And so on top of that, we are going to add the wedge narrow middle corner. So that's going to go there. Now this is going to be tricky. Jump up here, there, there, and there. And then lastly, we're going to actually, nope, almost lastly, this one. So then we're going to go from there to the wedge 60 tip corner top. Okay. And we're just going to rotate this one till it fits on there. And this one here. There we go. All right, now we can remove these that I used for scaffolding. And the only thing that you're missing left here, and it's totally optional, is this little piece here. And actually that's interesting too. You could put it there or there. I think both look actually pretty cool, but you could put that one there, there, there. So that concludes the build tutorial on the rooftops that I utilized for Frosthaven. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, consider dropping a like and subscribing for other similar content. I'll see you on the next one. Eko's out.